Good morning, students. Today we are going to start part number 5 of the chapter When People Rebel, 1857 and After. In the previous videos, we discussed about the causes of 1857 revolution, main incidents of the revolution, after that control on the revolutionaries and the revolts by the British company, and now we will discuss about aftermath or the impacts of 1857 revolt or revolution. What changes occurred or took place after 1857 revolution? The biggest change was in the thinking of the British, that now the British changed their policies on a large scale. What kinds of changes were there? So let's discuss in this video with the help of these headings, right? So first is Government of India Act 1858. This act was passed. According to this act, it is also known as the Act for Good Government of India. The Act for Good Government of India 1858. It is also known as Maharani or Queen Victoria Proclamation Act 1858. According to this act, the rule of company, the rule of British East India Company was ended. Company's rule was ended, and the British Parliament directly controlled over the ruling in India. It means British Crown. It is known as the rule of beginning of the rule of British Crown. So you have to remember, according to this act, company's rule was ended in India and the British Crown rule started. It means now the control over the politics and all kinds of policies were controlled by the British Parliament or the British government directly by the Queen. So the rule of Queen started, so it is known as British Crown rule. This was the first change according to this change. Next one is title of the Governor General changed. It was changed into Viceroy. Viceroy. Viceroy means personal representative of Crown, British Crown. It means the personal representative of British Queen called Viceroy, right? So Governor General, now this post was changed into Viceroy. So you have to remember these two things. So title of Governor General was changed into Viceroy. After that, a Secretary of State was appointed by the British Crown, Secretary of State, and he had all kinds of responsibilities. He was fully responsible for the governance in India, right? So you have to remember, Secretary was fully responsible for the governance in India, and he was the member of British Cabinet. Member of British Cabinet, this thing also you have to remember. And he also provided with a council of some members known as India Council, the India Council. So the Secretary of State used to work with the help of India Council. So this was the third change. Next one is all the kingdoms of India. Kingdoms of India were considered as subordinates. It means now the policies were changed of the British. According to this, that now the British declared that no kingdoms would be annexed by the British. Clear? No kingdom would be annexed under the doctrine of lapse and other kinds of these rules. So now all the kingdoms will be free, but they would be under the paramount of the British Queen or the British Parliament. So in this way, kingdoms were considered as the subordinates of the British Crown. Subordinates of the British Crown. They were free, but they were under the British Crown. So in this way, kingdoms were provided with the powers under the British Crown or under the British Queen. So this was another change. After that, changes in military. What changes were occurred in military? Indian soldiers, number of Indian soldiers reduced. Indian soldiers, the number of Indian soldiers reduced, and European soldiers, the number of European soldiers increased. Getting my point? So, and especially the soldiers from North India, like United Province, Kanpur, Lucknow, Delhi, around this area was means these kinds of soldiers belonging to these areas were reduced. The number of these soldiers were reduced, and Sikhs, Gorkhas, etc. were increased because the British considered that the soldiers from these areas are not means believable or not worthful or trustful. So they recruited new kinds of soldiers from Gorkhas and Sikhs. Clear? So this was the change. Indian soldiers, the number of Indian soldiers reduced and the European soldiers increased. And next one is social and political policies were also changed. Socio-religious and the political policies also means changed completely, because now earlier you remember that we discussed about sati immolation, right? Railways and widow remarriage act. So these kinds of reforms were taken negatively by most of the Indians. So the British stopped to do more social reforms against the traditions and the culture of Indians. Clear? And political changes were there, that now the zamindars and the local zamindars, jagirdars and other saukars etc. were protected with their land, and they were provided the powers on their land. So in this way social and political changes also occurred after 1857 revolution. So dear students, you have to remember, in first change, Government of India Act 1858, according to this act, companies rule ended and the British crown rule started. Second one is Governor General post was changed into Viceroy. Viceroy meaning of the Viceroy is the personal representative of British crown. Third, Secretary of State was appointed, and means he used to help with the India Council, and he was fully responsible for governance of India. Kingdoms were considered as the subordinates of the British crown, and all the policies of annexation of Indian kingdoms were completely stopped. After that, changes in military, Indian soldiers, number of Indian soldiers reduced and European soldiers increased. And then about social and political policies. So these were the impacts of 1857 revolution. Now we'll discuss about elsewhere. The incident of contemporary to 1857 revolution. So when 1857 revolution took place in India, so during that time in China, in particular in South China, there was a revolt against Qing dynasty. This was the dynasty, Qing dynasty. Against this dynasty, a big revolt was taking place, right? And this revolt was led by Hong Xiuquan. Hong Xiuquan was a leader of poor people, labor class, and other very exploited and tortured people, those who are not satisfied with the Chinese culture and this dynasties and the policies of Qing dynasty. Clear? So this revolt was against the tradition of China, was wrong culture of China, and against the policies of Qing dynasty. So three things you have to remember, that why this movement was started. This movement was started in 1850 and it was controlled with very difficulties with the help of French and the British. French and British by Qing dynasty, because this dynasty was helped by French and British. Now, why did French and British help the Qing dynasty to control this revolt? This revolt was started for Heavenly Kingdom of Great Peace. It means it was also known as Taiping Rebellion. So Taiping Rebellion wanted in all the kinds of the people, those who are involved in this rebellion, including Hong Xiuquan. They wanted to change in the Chinese culture. They wanted to set up a society of heavenly kingdom of great peace, where all the people would be happy without any kind of wrong practices. So this revolt was led by Hong Xiuquan, and he was a converted person, convert to Christianity, clear, because he liked fond of Christianity, and he opposed traditional and religious practices of China. What were the traditional religions of China? Like Confucianism and Buddhism. These were traditional religions of China. Confucianism was a group of rules and regulations and the teachings given by Confucius. Confucius was means great saint of China and preacher of China, who means spread his ideas in entire China with the help of his lakhs of followers. Clear? He was born in 551 BC in China, died in 479 BC in China. So Confucius was a great scholar, we can say scholar and saint in China. He gave the good ideas but opposed by Hong Xiuquan or the labor class and the poor people, because they were exploited and they were discriminated by these rules and regulations and by these culture. So he opposed traditional religions like Buddhism and Confucianism, and this revolt also was against Qing dynasty, as we have discussed about it, opposed all kinds of wrong practices. They were thinking like a society in which no discrimination is there, no social class discrimination is there, differences should be removed, all the people will be considered equal, no difference between men and women means will be considered, and no use of other wrong things like alcohol, gambling, opium, right, and other kinds of discrimination. Completely they wanted to them remove, right? So in this way, this revolt was for heavenly kingdom of great peace, and this rebellion was controlled by the Qing dynasty with the help of French and British till the mid 1860s. So this was elsewhere a contemporary incident of 1857 revolution in South China. So in this way we have completed this chapter. I hope that you understood all the topics. If you have any problem, you can ask me by writing in the comment box. Thank you. Have a nice day.